Welcome. I want to start with a sound, a single, unexplained boom recorded in the middle of the Pacific in 1997. It was so loud that hydrophones thousands of kilometers apart all heard it. For years, nobody could say what made it, and some people became convinced it was a sea monster. Today I'll take you through the mystery, the data, and the surprisingly ordinary truth, and why that truth matters more than ever right now. Let's set the scene. The summer of 1997. NOAA researchers were listening for underwater volcanic activity in the South Pacific. Instead, their hydrophones picked up something far stranger, an ultra-low-frequency rumble. It was loud enough to register on sensors spread across the entire Pacific Ocean. They named it the Bloop, and here's the hook that made it famous. It didn't sound like anything any known creature could produce. So why should we care about a noise from almost 30 years ago? Because the Bloop is two stories at once. First, it's a story about how quickly we want to believe in monsters. The internet turned it into Cthulhu, aliens, and giant undiscovered creatures. Second, and more importantly, it's a story about ice. The true source of the Bloop is now understood to be an icequake, and icequakes are becoming more common as the planet warms. That means this old mystery is actually a live, ongoing signal from a changing Antarctic. Before we judge any theory, let's look at the raw signal itself, what NOAA actually recorded. I want you to notice three things on the next slide: how low the frequency is, how far it traveled, and how much it had to be sped up for human ears. Hold those numbers in your head because they are exactly what ruled out the sea monster. Here are the numbers that make the Bloop so extraordinary. The signal sat in an ultra-low frequency band, from 1 to 440 Hz, far below what most of us can hear. NOAA had to speed the recording up 16 times just to make it audible, and it was detected 5,000 kilometers away. That's roughly the width of the continental United States. No living thing on Earth is known to make a sound that carries like that. Let that distance sink in for a second. 5,000 kilometers. Picture a single sound in the South Pacific being picked up on sensors spanning nearly an entire ocean basin. That is the single fact that launched 1,000 monster theories. Because when a sound travels that far and stays that loud, your first instinct is to ask, what on earth could possibly be that big? Now, let's meet the suspects. For years, there were really only two serious candidates. One was something alive, an undiscovered, colossal creature big enough to fill an ocean. The other was something far less glamorous: ice. This is where the debate lived for nearly a decade, and I want to show you both sides before we reveal the verdict. On the left, the creature theory. The Bloop's frequency pattern resembled the vocalizations of living animals, just orders of magnitude louder. People pointed out that not even a blue whale, the largest animal ever to have lived, could produce it, so the leap was made. Maybe something even bigger is out there. On the right, the ice theory. Icebergs crack, calve, and scrape the seafloor, and those events produce exactly this kind of broadband, ultra-low rumble. Two plausible stories, but only one matches the data. Here's where the animal theory falls apart. The largest animal ever known is the blue whale, and scientists calculated it simply isn't big enough to croon that loud. The Bloop's acoustic signature, meanwhile, pointed south toward the ice shelves of Antarctica, not toward any known habitat. When NOAA matched the sound to the acoustic signature of icequakes, the fit was essentially perfect. The monster turned out to be geology. So how did we get from mystery to answer? It took 8 years. Recorded in the summer of 1997, the Bloop spent the next several years as an open case, debated online, hyped, and misremembered. Then, in 2005, NOAA scientists determined the sound came from an iceberg cracking and breaking away. Since then, the identification has held. And here's the twist. The story didn't end in 2005. The ice is still cracking, and we should be listening. Here's the point I want to leave you with. The Bloop was never a monster. It was the sound of ice breaking. In a warming world, that sound is becoming a more frequent headline. Every iceberg that calves is a data point about a planet under pressure. So the real mystery was never the creature that didn't exist. The real question is what we do with the warning the ocean has been sending us. Listen to the ice. Thank you.